Hey there, my name is Anastasia and I'm your guide on how to not miss your life and stay on top of things you love doing, as much as possible. Today may get a little bit personal or even TMI, but I'll try to make it condensed and not mundane, and also you can follow the time codes in the description below. And also please consider to subscribe to my channel, this will help me enormously. And if you find the information useful, also please like this video. Almost everyone heard about bipolar disorder. It's when a person swings between very high, intense levels of energy and very low, almost unbearable levels of energy. A person flies up to hypomania and then falls down to depression. And I see that it starts to appear more and more in public discourse, and it's pretty great. But today I won't talk about bipolar, I want to talk about cyclothymia. What is it, you ask? Well, it's pretty similar to bipolar, but much less intense. Basically, the highest level is lower and the lowest level is higher. Cyclothymia is not that commonly discussed. I, for one, heard this term for the first time about a year ago, when I found out that I have it.
Yay!
And since I'm so lucky, and since it's not that discussed in the public space, I decided that it's good to share my journey, my experience, so that if someone struggles in the similar way, they would know that it's okay to be like this, and that there are ways to help yourself to maintain a decent level of life. At least it's worth to consult with specialists. So please take your tea or coffee or whatever you prefer to have at this hour of the day, and please join me on my journey. It all began, well, the thing is, I can't really register the point where it all really started, when I started riding on these hills. When I look back now and analyze, I see that it started pretty mildly, but then over the time it got more and more intense. It always went like this. I had some kind of idea of some kind of project, planned it out, started doing it energetically, with inspiration, but slowly I just quit it. Then I tried to live spending as little effort on life as possible. After some time, I got my inspiration and energy back. I thought, okay, I will do it from the start, much better this time. I will finish it. And I started again. And again, after a while, I quit it. And truthfully, I had so many ideas, and the weight of them all sitting in my head unfinished pressured me so much, and it caused me to went through these sequences over and over again and making my ups and downs more and more intense. Things got even worse when me and my family moved to another country. We had to put a lot of effort in starting over our life, learning a language, earning money, taking care of our kid on our own without any help. In short, adult life. And my part went like this. I had long, low periods when I didn't look for a job, I didn't support the household, I didn't invest in the time with my son. Most of the day I could just watch TV shows and then at the last moment get out of the house to get to the kindergarten, and then be miserable for the rest of the day until the time my husband came home. After some time, I just got used to a thought that I'm just useless and lazy and weak and I will never achieve anything. I felt guilty and unworthy. Basically, that were two main melodies of my life, guilt and unworthiness. I felt guilt before my husband for not holding my end of the teamwork. I felt guilt before my son for not putting enough effort in our relationship. I felt guilt before my ideas for not executing them. I tried to shut it down with alcohol, lots of alcohol, and also with going out of the house as much as possible. Yes, my low state weren't only about laying in the darkness as we usually imagine it, but sometimes the sun came out and it was simply the best time. Some kind of spark fired up and I felt so inspired, so energetic. I threw myself into all kinds of projects, into job searching, into sports and household. But this time was not only the best, it was also pretty short. 1 week, week and a half, 2 weeks max. Very brief, but wow. Each time was like a firework. And each time I thought, there, this is my true life. This time I will finally show the world. Well, I didn't really knew what, but I'll definitely show. But after 1-2 weeks, I started falling down. I tried to hold on, somehow trick myself, find a new approach. But after a while of struggling, I just let go and fall down rashly and loudly. And while I was floundering downstairs, I looked back and dreamt of this time when that life would be possible all the time. The funniest thing is that everything seemed more or less normal from outside, especially at the times of Corona, when everyone went insane in these never-ending lockdowns, especially with kids. Let's be honest, most of the people postpone their stuff. So when I tried to share my problems, my struggles with my friends, they just told me to get easier on myself, which is great advice, anytime. And also, I spent almost 2 years in therapy trying to get to the roots, pretty pointlessly. Therapy isn't pointless. I discovered a lot of things about myself, but I mean that I didn't find out why I don't do the things that I want to do, and why I feel so bad about it, and why I feel so bad half of my life, and even sometimes more than half of my life. But once one of my friends told me about cyclothymia. I read about this and it felt so much like myself, but I still weren't convinced because I still thought that I'm just lazy, not motivated enough, and I just need to find the right approach. But things got even worse, so I made a huge effort and made an appointment with a psychiatrist, and I went, and he said that yeah, from what I'm telling him, I most likely have this cyclothymia, and here are the pills. And I took them, and life bloomed like never before. Okay, maybe it was a little bit of exaggeration. Not about life blooming. It's really bloomed, okay? It so bloomed. I couldn't believe. I'm not joking. It felt like I discovered myself under all those millions of layers of struggleness. Struglatia? Okay, never mind, I'll stop. But this process took a bit of time, and these were the darkest times. One of those times that usually happen before dawn. First, I got into denial and desperation. Ironic. When I was on my way to the doctor, I was so eager to hear, yes, you have it. It's not your fault. It's just a chemical imbalance in your body. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I repeat, it's not your fault. Yeah, I got this answer. But wait, it meant that there is something wrong with me and that there will be always something wrong with me for the rest of my life. So in this denial and desperation, I started taking the pills that doctor prescribed to me. And they made me numb. I didn't feel anything, neither emotionally nor even physically. You see, I'm a pretty touchy person. I like to touch people and I like to touch different texture. I like this feeling on my skin and under my fingers, but I stopped feeling anything. I stopped getting this sensation, and I even become senseless in sex. For a month I lived like this, and also I could just cry for no reason at all. Tears just fell down from my eyes. I didn't control anything. I just felt completely dead inside. And after 3-4 weeks, this state suddenly stopped and I could function. oh, I could function. I became this myself that was there somewhere all this time, and not this cocaine maniac that did millions of things and didn't sleep. I just did what I planned to do, and sometimes I didn't do it all, but I felt okay with it. I just woke up the next day and continued doing what I wanted to do without any drama. I could prioritize some projects, and also I could just let go of some ideas and didn't feel any guilt about it. I was amazed that this could be my life over all these years, and I was walking around in this amazement, being afraid that somehow the magic will stop and I will stop, but it didn't. I launched my design website, pretty complicated design portfolio website. I was just doing consistently the work for 2.5 months and I launched it. It wasn't nearly possible before. It's not a happy ending though. I still have my ups and my downs, but so much more mild. For example, now I'm in pretty low state. I can cry during the day for no reason, and I have my anxieties. And I feel desperate that this channel will be my next failure and that my website was for nothing, but I function. I do my stuff. Yes, I do it slower. Yes, I do less, but I manage not to stop and not to lay movementless. I'm able to make a decision to continue or to stop. It's also important to make the decision. In conclusion, I want to just say that it's essential to acknowledge and debunk all kinds of mental diseases and conditions. It's not what defines a person, but sometimes it's just an integral part of them. And if you see someone next to you struggling, please try to help them. Very, very carefully, but try. And if you're struggling yourself, also please try to get help from a professional. It will change your life, your quality of life. And also, I want to lamely thank my cyclothymia for causing me to read all these books and learn all this stuff about planning and organization, so now I can share it with you. Thank you so much for watching, for being with me today. And I hope you will have a great day and see you soon.